close with the size now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the actual trunnions on the bottom of the table. And put a bit of sandpaper on there, if I could peel this bloody tape. So that's the part. It's very close to what I need. Figured either that or I might turn up an MDF disc to the right diameter and maybe stick some sandpaper on that, put it in the lathe. We'll see. Actually, this isn't doing too bad. I've got two choices. I've kind of got some 312 dissimilar arc rods. I can knock the flux off and polish them up, and I could use it as a TIG filler rod, or I can wire up my 160 amp arc set and just stick weld them. I ain't done no TIG welding for a couple of years now. It's been a while since I've even ran a bead. So thinking to myself, whilst I would have been more comfortable with TIG, I'm so bloody out of practice, I might be better off with stick. So I've got to quickly wire in a 16 amp supply, because I don't want the stick welder permanently like hardwired. Just going to quickly wire that in, and it's bloody hot. I've been down in the other shed in my hammock with me big 3-foot fan going and that, but it's too big to bring up here, so I've got to cook whilst I do this. So yeah, I'll get back to you once I've wired this up. Oh my god, I'm so hot. I think I put enough grip. In some ways it was a bit pointless me buying this little Clark 160 amp stick set, because I could have done with like at least 200 amps I suppose, but it was cheap. It was a return at the shop. I think they said whoever had bought it thought they could run it off of like your normal 13 amp fuse or something, and like, well, you can't. Here's the long and short of it. So I got it for, I think it was like 40 quid. I felt for that sort of money, you know, I only had a 80 amp, my little Parkside set, before I picked this little set up. And to be fair, I'll probably keep using my little Parkside set because I really like that little tiny set. We'll see how this does. I'm not even sure if this is an inverter. I'm wondering if it's like a buzz box type. I suppose it's quite small, but it's pretty heavy too. So it could be like a buzz box. We'll find out in a minute. I imagine everyone from like America and that is watching this is thinking, 3 cables? Why you got 3 wires on your electricity? I think it's strange that you guys don't even have switches on your plugs. You just plug it in and it's on like constantly. That's well unusual. But I think it's because we earth everything out. So we have 3 cables, 3 wires, and we have switches on our electricity. And then my 3-phase in here has 5 wires. So I wonder, is American 3-phase the same as like English? 3 lives, a neutral and an earth? Or do you do just the 4 lines, the 3 lives and your earth without the neutral? Go make this thing buzz. Can't even see what ampage that is. That's a lot of good. I'm pretty sure because it used to be my static phase converter, it should be at least 32 amp. Yeah, it's 32. I can't see. So yeah, 32 amp supply should be plenty for this. Let's see what happens now. Oh, we have a light. Look at that, it's a light. And just make sure nothing's earthing out. There we go. Fortunately for me, I've just put a deposit down on my new set because I want to give my friend back his new Arc set. You know, I can't really keep hold of it forever, so I've ordered a Oxford iMig 330 for myself. These are well packed. So yeah, anyway, luckily for me they gave me a bit of a discount. These were very expensive rods. They still are like expensive rods at like 40 quid a box. But I only want to do this the once. I'm also going to have to make a little storage canister for these because I'm only going to use one. Yeah, I'm only going to use one. I've got to lay maybe 2 inches of weld, if that. Very well packaged. We got a wrapper, cardboard box, like tinfoil seal, another cardboard box, and then we got the rods in a bag as well. So yes, here we go. For anyone watching this and wants to know exactly what these rods are, they are, there's a clearer print, Super Optimal 312-17 AWS A54 E312-17. I'm reading that backwards on the camera screen, so it's not that I'm thick, just reading in reverse. So yeah, I'm going to use one rod out of a 2 kilogram pack, and these are 3.2mm rods. Got some kiln dried sand. The point for the kiln dried sand is once you've heated up your casting and you do the welds, you want the casting to cool down as slowly as possible. So I don't have like a heat treatment oven or nothing like that. The best option is to fill a bucket up with sand with your part inside of it, and to leave it cool down inside the sand, because it will cool very, very, very slowly. I want to make sure I'm at least I imagine it's going to be about 400 to 500 C. I've got no map gas, so I've got to make do with these Rothberg, not just standard little propane blow torches. Hey, come on. Yeah. So I'm going to begin heating this up and we'll see how this goes. About 350 C. I'm going to call that good enough just for the taps. Bastard. Alright, now with what I was told, now I've got to leave it till tomorrow to cool down, basically. It's midday on the next day. As you can see, it's hot. It's so hot, the beard's gone. They're saying like 30 odd degrees we're going to be at, or something. Something ridiculous. Everyone's squinting about it on Facebook. Yeah, so fuck, it's hot in here. I thought I'd come in, have a quick look to see if I need to spend the next 2 hours, next few hours being irritated with myself due to failure. So let's pull this out and take a nose. Why have I put a glove on? It's not hot no more. It's been 24 hours, idiot. Just quickly while I brush this off. Right, a little bit there. Ooh. So the welds up here. But they're going to be okay. I'm not going to chase out any undercut, as I think I'll be there forever, sort of thing. But here we go. I have to ignore the fact that I'm gawping at the camera, because just checking to make sure you can see it all right. I didn't go anywhere near the hole. You can see this was actually I didn't notice it until I cleaned out the hole. This hole was actually counterboard. It shouldn't matter, but yeah, so not quite the right size hole in the top, but it's the correct hole for the bottom. Got a tiny bit of undercut there. How the fuck can I show? There we go. And the little bit of a low on the bottom corners, but I think that's primarily because I was welding this like away from those corners. All in all, it looks okay. Wrong way, dumbass. Yeah, there we go. There you can see just here I burnt the metal away a very, very tiny bit, but I've got good contact all the way at the back. When I welded this, I didn't really have the opportunity to look at what I was doing. These are only 3/4 of an inch long, roughly, maybe like 19 to 20 mil. These welds, they're longest, so it's more of a case of instinctive sort of, I guess, muscle memory. You know, weaving a little weave that you know will roughly lay a weld into the size of the V that I had ground into it, and also listening to the sound of the weld. And I decided it was probably best to keep a very short arc length, even though I wanted the weld to spread a little bit. I didn't want to have a long arc, so I kept my arc short to make sure I was burning it in. You can't really see this, but I did have to clean up the inside of the hole, because I did penetrate all the way through, but not perfectly everywhere. But I'd say 2/3 of the internal bore I have penetrated along. Probably just the first third that I arced up with and then started moving the pool probably didn't get quite as hot as towards the end. I managed to lay onto the weld pretty nicely. As you can see, this is where I struck my arc up, and both these ends I have a bit of a low spot. Got a tiny bit of one there too. It's pretty damn good. There's a bit of a low spot here by my thumb, but once again that is that low spot. Whoops. Well, I didn't quite pull enough weld in there. I reassembled the saw and thought I'd try it with the blade that was in it from when I got it, but the blade had areas with teeth missing, so the cut quality wasn't very good, and it kept sort of kicking the part away from the blade. as you sort of hit the place with no teeth and then the teeth appeared again. But the bed held up nicely, and the roller guides. It's bland, it's horrible, as you saw, well you would have seen in that little clip. It's sort of kicking about. I think it's where there's like a set of teeth missing along part of it. So just go and cut a new piece of band, new piece of blade. So I'll try welding this up and see how it goes. I think I've just found something I don't like fucking doing. I think that's definitely just going to put a bandsaw blade welder on my wish list. The inside looks perfectly fine, but I'm just going to touch it with that flap disc. Right, let's see if this is better than the band that was on it, or not. Didn't anneal it. Quite a nice cut that. Just turn it down here a minute. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'm sorry that all my videos just never seem to really be like less than like 20 minutes to half hour. I don't know, maybe I just talk too much perhaps. Anyway, thank you for following along, for everyone who has. It was an interesting thing to weld cast iron for the first time. I was quite, I'm pleased with the results. It went better than it did bad, I suppose. And the bandsaw works. Essentially, I wanted it for just sizing down stock ready for the mill. So if I've got to cut a shape of some kind out, I can rough it out on the bandsaw and then go to the mill. Reason being, I learnt my lesson a while ago cutting some 40mm thick steel plate. This stuff, which is for another project that's been on hold for over a year. That stuff I cut with a plasma cutter and absolutely destroyed quite a few milling cutters from your sort of roughing, carbide roughing end mills. Fuck me up, reflux in the bed. I destroyed quite a few end mills, and they were roughing end mills, carbide roughing end mills. So I learnt my lesson about like the flash hardening effect. So yeah, thanks for following, guys, and take care, and I will see you on the next one.